Happy Monday. How are you doing? My name is Sarah Otieno. Karibu sana to This Is the Day. We are live on Family TV and also live on Family Radio, where the music does the talking. You can contact us through the WhatsApp number 0786 316 316 and also through the SMS line 20316, and SMS is only 1 shilling. So as I always say, we are learning together. Well, last year we had a lot of cases where young people were going to social media to raise the cases and issues that were affecting them directly or indirectly. And sadly, it went to an extent of some even committing suicide because of the bashing that they could get from social media. Well, young people are facing a lot of challenges that we must agree on. Maybe you could be in the house with your young daughter, your young son, maybe your nephew, your niece, and maybe you do not understand what they are going through because apparently maybe it's communication problem, or you're not just giving that environment for them to communicate. Problems come in different challenges and in different channels, and young people face these problems. So let us just look at some of the problems and challenges that young people face, and then we'll come back to understand why they face them. Where is the problem? Could mentorship be the thing that is lacking and causing young people to suffer this much? Let us look at the challenges first. Due to the high cost, poverty and lack of facilities, there have been high school dropout rates. Most of the youth either drop out of school or graduate without necessary skills for self-employment, and many girls drop out of school due to early pregnancies. Crime and drugs. Violent criminal attacks, including rape, mugging, armed carjacking, and home invasion, are increasingly being associated with the youth these days. Now, over 50% of all the convicted criminals are young people aged between 16 and 25 years. Access to financial resources. Traditional financial institutions have avoided lending to youth due to their relative inability to comply with the high transaction cost, difficulty in accessing and managing the risk profile, and lack of the required financial documentation as well as collateral. Mental health. 20% of adolescents may experience a mental health problem in any given year due to some of the daily struggles they undergo. 50% of mental health problems are established by age 14 and 75% by age 24. Well, 50% and 75%, that is not a very small number. Well, where is the problem? Why do we have so many young people facing so many challenges and sometimes even falling victims of circumstances to an extent of even suicide and mental health problems? Could the problem be mentorship? Are we lacking mentorship as young people? Well, today in studio, I have one person who will help us understand what is mentorship. Why do we even need it? Her name is Jen Kitusa from Papa's Mentors. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Sarah.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
How many people have you mentored? Wacha tuanzie hapo. Yeah?
I think my other name is Mentorship.
Ah, nice.
I love it passionately. And because of just having a back for the youth, because most of the time the question is, do we listen to them? Are we there for them? Are we present in their lives? Or do we just lecture and expect so much from them? And so I moved into mentorship after resignation. Due to family issues that actually had pointed that way. But I've been passionate about mentorship just all the way even from when I was in the corporate world, because of seeing this person who is trying to do some activity, they're lacking the skill, they've not been fully exposed, and you're like, how do you expect them to produce? How do you expect productivity to even have an impact? So mentorship runs in my blood. I love interacting with the youth. Of course, the first place is where you are, at home. My first two daughters are in that category. Yeah, there is Sonia, Nana, and Cynthia.
Wow.
age bracket of 22 and 24. Yes.
So they are youths.
They are youth.
Okay.
And of course, along comes those are the biological ones. And I have a son, Emmanuel, and a grandson, Jabali. he's
When you
3
show
years. Yes. Very proud of it.
Wow.
So, apart from the biological youth, I've interacted a lot with now youth who I come across. We make friends just because of maybe listening. Sometimes I wonder, do I listen because maybe there was not much listening when I was growing up? Maybe there was not many people listening to me. I don't know. Well, so I've interacted with them in the church, schools. We do schools. And also come up with some groups. I have one passionate one, but it's for girls. They're called PALs.
Okay. So but from what I'm getting, what you're trying to tell me is that, if I'm getting you clearly, is that you have interacted with people, different people, and not only your biological children.
Different people in church, in the estate. Yeah.
All right. So let's go back kidogo and maybe try to understand, in your definition, what is mentorship?
Mentorship, just put in simple terms, is a relationship where there's one, or at least there has to be 2 people, at least, or could be more than 2 people. Let's take where there are just 2 people. One is experienced than the other, because it's the relationship where you're offering your area of expertise. What is this you're experienced in that the other person is lacking? And so that's why most of the time you find that we put mentorship as there's a youth and an adult.
Yep.
Because an adult passed through youth. Although sometimes we behave like we were not the teenagers they are today and the youth they are today.
Yeah.
And so that's what purely mentorship is, just working with this person. It's sometimes a lifelong situation. It's and then there's the sharing of skills, knowledge, and experience.
Okay.
Mostly the experience part, the skills. And it doesn't mean, I think why people sometimes also shy away from being mentors is because they think you have to be an expert.
Okay.
Sometimes actually it's out of maybe what you passed through.
So I can be a mentor to someone.
Purely. Right now, so many people are watching you. There are ladies out there who are wondering, Sarah, how can I be like Sarah? How can I walk her journey? Not necessarily be a clone of Sarah, but Sarah to them may be that role model. So there's a person who can approach you and ask you, Sarah, how did you make it there? That's all it needs. Just walk with this person. Sometimes they just need, you know, when you talk to someone and you hear yourself, it sort of reflects back to you. So when you sit and sometimes you have that aha moment later alone. You're like, oh, this is what I need to do. Yes.
Okay. So from the statistics that we were having, there's some challenges that young people are facing.
Yes.
And it is sad that last year we lost quite a number of people.
True.
Mental health, ilingia, depression, and then some even committed suicide because of these challenges, money problems, love problems.
Especially the relationships.
Yes, and then we had issues of unemployment, which is very unfortunate, by the way.
True.
So can we say that all these problems that we are experiencing as young people could be because of lack of mentorship? Am I right to say that?
In my own opinion, it could be a yes, it could also be a no. Because yes, challenges will always be there. But how am I coping? How am I dealing with the challenges? Because I've been to school, I've graduated, I'm not getting a job.
Yeah.
What are my expectations? Sometimes I think the expectations of the youth are maybe slightly high, so they just need to tone them down. Just sit and have that me moment. And that's the point at which with all these challenges, then you realize, yes, maybe you're stuck, maybe you're stagnant, you're not moving. That's the point at which you may need a mentor.
Yeah.
Because a mentor will not necessarily give you money. And that's why people sometimes share, I don't have the money to give. Sometimes you just need to speak to them. with
And
your
listen.
wisdom, and just listen to them.
Okay.
For instance, personally, I use my story all through. Just talk to girls, talk to the boys, and they're like, oh, that's how it was. Okay, then it means if I use this other path, there may be light. If I use your path, there's possibility it may be the same or may be different. So yes, the challenges will be there, but it's about how we are taking them,
Okay.
how we are individually looking at them. Because the other day there was this lady who was telling me that the son is saying he doesn't want to go to college because those who've gone to college, they have no jobs. What is different? But really, he only needs to sit, have that me moment, have a sober space created for him. That's also what mentorship can do. Just create this space where this person is feeling they can confide in you, talk to you, and then realize that, yes, I can go to college, I'll have the skills and the knowledge. I don't necessarily have to get, be employed. I can also come out and be my own employer.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I like that. And someone would ask, so how do I start choosing a mentor? You know, not everyone can be a mentor, clearly. Now, how do I narrow down to Jen and not Sarah as a mentor? What are some of the things that I need to put into consideration?
I think it's also good to point out what are the qualities of a mentor.
Oh, yes.
As you sit there, who is this? Who is your role model? Who is this from afar that you look at and you're like, okay, they may not be successfully as you think, but they look it. Who is this person who is friendly to you? Because as a mentor, you have to be passionate. You have to have this heart that can expand too much. Because sometimes I talk to some friends, they're like, I can't do that.
I can't bear that.
I have my own baggage.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need to put our own baggage aside, because once, personally in my life, I have two ladies who came in as mentors. I always say first, in a bit of my life, it was messed up by lack of a mentor, and then it was built by the presence of a mentor.
Wow.
So that means, so this person, who is this you look up to? For instance, sometimes you just go somewhere and someone tells you, hi, can I talk to you? And you're like, yes. You know, just that. You could tell somebody, I'm busy, could we meet tomorrow? I always say, when someone tells you, I'd like to speak to you, there is a need.
Yes, sure.
Just take a small pause. It could be the difference between saving that life. It could be the difference between saving that girl who's just been booted. I know their whole heart was there. Also, the guys are being booted now. So, they're looking at that moment, it's a burden. At that moment for them, the world is crashing. So if giving time, because also quality time is part of mentorship. And so how do you identify a mentor? Who is this? Maybe just sit and reflect. Who is this that appeals to you? Who is this that you feel I can approach? Who is this I talk to? Because nobody is an island.
Yeah, sure.
There's a person interact. Could be an auntie, could be a teacher, could be your neighbor, it could be anybody. Because what is unfortunate is that sometimes as parents and guardians, we should actually be the first mentors. But that's not what is on the ground.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's also a challenge, because I told you I have two in the house. So I have to listen to them. Sometimes they sit and tell me, let's tell you what is out there. You don't know it. So I sit and I listen and I absorb. And sometimes it's maybe not the best thing I want to hear, but it is the reality. And so parents, who is this parent you can identify to? You could be in a house. Can you identify to your mother, to your father?
Oh, and could that be one of the parents? Now, I could choose my mother, not my father. Is that still okay?
The question is, are you able to communicate and relate? Because actually in the nuclear family, that is what we expect.
Okay.
That there should be communication. There should be this nice, warm relationship. Okay, sometimes due to very many challenges, maybe it's not there. However, is it being created? And that's where our part as parents and guardians comes up. What's the environment at our home? Is it toxic? Is it healthy for a relationship? Personally, I told you at some point, I had a not healthy relationship. And this was because of work.
Yeah.
And I like saying I was shining, but in the wrong sky. So could that be the challenge? Because personally, I not see it as a challenge, but the people in the house are seeing it as a challenge.
Yeah, sure.
And so communication is key. Are we able to sit and communicate our feelings, communicate our desires as children? And not only youth, actually it goes down to teens, because that's where it starts.
Oh, wow.
Because a healthy teen will most likely continue into a healthy youth.
Okay, and that leads me to my next question,
Yes.
Jen. So is there a specific time as to when I'm supposed to be having a mentor? Should I be on the lookout for a certain need, quote unquote, for now me to now, sasa, it's time for me to look for Jen, because is there a specific time?
There's sometimes you get a call and someone tells you, I need to see you, I need to talk. Maybe that's a one-off. There's a situation they've come across. There's sometimes you'll just be feeling clearly things are not flowing the way they should be flowing, because as a youth, as a teenager, you have your expectations, you have your goals. I believe you have a plan of your life. You've sat, yes, you're in school. Why are you in school?
Okay.
I like telling them, close your eyes and think, where will you be 10 years from now?
Wow.
That 10 years today is the step. And so right now, yes, I want to be ABCD. Right now, what is my challenge? What is the challenge I'm facing? And for most of the youth, the bracket, like WHO defines youth is from 19 to 24. And that's the age nowadays. We have the relationships. Nowadays, the age has gone down for relationships. And they want to love each other, and it's there. And you're stuck. Maybe the relationship is not working. So for you, the whole life is not working. And so when would I realize I need a mentor? First, am I feeling stuck anywhere?
Okay.
Because a mentor just means, who is this person I can talk to? There's also like peer mentorship. Peer mentorship is where I can talk to my colleague, my age mate.
Okay.
It's not necessarily that this person has to be an adult, a grown-up person. Because when you look at peer mentorship, it can be peers, we can be classmates. So it is just that instead of closing up with your issue, reach out. Learn to, we call it emotional intelligence, the ability to identify, this is how I'm feeling, and not only identify it, but work on it. Because I can identify I'm feeling bored, I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling depressed. What am I doing about it?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the point at which you need to reach out to someone. Now, this is the person then you label as your mentor.
Eric Kajulu, all the way from Dunga Beach, thank you so much for tuning in today. You're saying, sorry, let me get this. Can I share with my mentor my personal issues?
There
Be a boundary.
You don't start releasing everything, because unfortunately also as grown-ups and as mentors, we've sometimes let down our mentees, because there's the aspect of confidentiality.
Yeah, sure.
How are you holding it? I've talked to youth and teenagers as well, like, please don't air me out there. They've shared a problem, and the next time is a prayer request in a meeting. Let us pray for so-and-so they're going through, and then now you've unleashed the whole problem.
Okay.
So at the point at which you find out the degree to which you share. Remember, I say this has to be a person you've related with. It can't be a stranger. Today we've met. I may not release everything, although sometimes out of pressure and out of the state at which they are in, someone just wants to pour their heart out to you. So here it is, who is the sober one? The mentee that time needs help. So the person the mentee has chosen, my request, my prayer would be like, would you just listen and then talk it with them?
Okay.
And especially when someone tells you, please let this remain between the two of us. It means the two of you plus maybe God up there. Not now, you share it. They didn't tell you, they didn't ask for a prayer request. So you're not going, they just wanted, sometimes someone just wants the listening ear. So to the gentleman who's just posed a question.
That is Eric.
Eric. Thank you, Eric. You will judge, even as you talk to this person, your closeness will tell you how far you can go. Yes.
Okay.
Also, sometimes people confuse mentorship with counseling.
There's a difference.
There is a total difference. So
What's
sometimes it
the
depends on, are
difference?
you looking for a mentor or are you looking for a counselor? Because a mentor is not necessarily trained. It's out of passion, just out of having the expertise in this area. But a counselor now is a trained person. Personally now, because of one of the needs, which is drugs and substance abuse, I
And
went
they're
back.
specialized. To
Specialized,
tackle a
yes.
specific problem.
Yes. Now
Okay.
that's my desire to be an expert in that area because now I'm back to school.
Wow.
I'm on term 3 as an addiction counselor. So that's a desire. So that you not only help, because sometimes someone wants you to help, but you have to keep referring. And some people don't like to be referred. They feel like you're throwing them off,
Yeah.
like their problem is too big. Yes.
Okay. All right. I like that. And I like that feel because that is what is affecting a lot of youth
True.
in the current generation.
True.
Well, we also have Sarah from Naivasha who's asking, should and must my mentor be of the same sex? I'm a woman. Must I go to a woman? Ama, can my mentor be of the opposite sex?
Mercy, it depends on which area you want to be mentored in. And we are human beings. I always tell my mentees, you have feelings, this other person has feelings. And so as you start this journey, remember it may be a long time journey. If it's the opposite sex, are they married? Are you married? Now imagine this situation, you're youth, and then the other person is a senior youth, maybe not married. What is likely to happen? Because the moment you share your problems, you always get some closeness with this person. And sometimes we may confuse these feelings that I have understood you, and then at some point you feel this person helped me out. Now what is likely to happen
Feel
next?
indebted.
You'll start feel indebted to this person. They may also feel maybe they were looking for a wife and you've just landed. But is that what is supposed to be? So that you also don't move out of the frying pan into the
To the
fire.
fire. Sarah, you had that? Maybe that should be a solution. And I'm sure this is actually affecting a lot of people.
It does.
So we have Beatrice Atieno. As she says, I'm 18 years old, just completed high school, and I really like a mentor. I would really love a mentor, but the problem is, who is the right one? And at least you have helped us identify. And maybe she's 18.
That's
Should
the
age be
yeah.
something to consider? Maybe when maybe you're picking a mentor, should it be someone a bit older? Maybe your age? Is that something she should consider?
I'll still go back to the same point that what is this area? And sometimes you may have more than one mentors. Because what is this area? Is it just your general life that you need guidance in? Is it like now she's finished, she will need career guidance? She will need, maybe she's waiting to go to campus or college, or maybe she didn't make it. Maybe she has to start, like the certificate, then go to diploma. There's all variety out there. There are others maybe who just totally didn't make it. They didn't get their goals of what they wanted. So at that point, maybe you just need to sit and have, this is something I really like calling me time. Just sit with yourself and be honest with yourself. Where am I? There are some of the models that we can borrow from, like the GROW model. You must have some goals. G. Then R is reality. What's the reality currently? Where am I? Either I passed or I failed or I need ABCD. Write it down. Put it down. Take a biro, take a nice little neat notebook that should look like you. I always tell my girls, let your notebook look like you. Yeah.
Wow.
So write down, what do I want? What are my goals? Then look at them. Your goals will always advise you. Sometimes you find that the solution is always here. Remember, a mentor not necessarily is not a person who is necessarily tell you this is where to go. A mentor will just open up the space for you to see where you are going, and then it's you to work out with them how to get there. This is where I am. That is where I want to go. So how do I get there? So depending on what is your need, is it just life? And life is so big. Maybe you could refer to, like, there's a model used the wheel of life. You can Google that up. It has the areas of our life, finances, personal development, career, all those the wheel of life.
Yeah, it's not the first time it's actually coming up in our discussions, and I hope you're taking keen notice.
And this is sometimes the problem is we will listen, but do we do it? Because it's about I'm stuck, and I'm stuck, but who is supposed to get me out? You're the first person, because even in mentorship, you're the first person to lift your hand so that the mentor can hold your hand. And so take that step. Go to the wheel of life. Where am I? There's a way you plot it. 0 to 10, where am I? 2, 3, can the wheel move? That is one of the things I like doing with some of the mentors I start with. Is your wheel moving? And you look at it, it's so crooked. So how do we make it move? It will not be 100%. Life is not 100%. But how do we make it?
At least around, you know.
Kakue na shape ni kama kanaenda kuku around. And you find that that's the first step. And sometimes now that will, inform on where do you need to be mentored. Sometimes maybe you just need to sit and reflect back and then now realize this is what I need, this is what I need, this is actually what I should have done. Write down your goals and stop and kill procrastination, the enemy of progress.
Wow. So we went to the streets, and I'm still thinking about the enemy of progress as I'm saying this. So our producer went to the streets and talked to you and asked you if you have a mentor. Well, this is what you responded.
Some of us have mentors we can't reach. Like if your mentor is a celebrity, it will be kind of hard to reach those kinds of mentors. But okay, there are those celebrities who have foundations, like they mobilize people into helping out in mental illness situations and such things.
I think we need mentorship because ukiangalia the youths, they don't have hope. Napata watu hata mziki wanaimba inaonyesha wana mtu wa kuonyesha the way, alafu hakuna employment. Kuna pia watu wana struggle na addictions na hizo depression because wale wazee they are no longer looking after the interest ya youth.
Kwangu mimi sioni kama nasaidia because hii dunia tu ni kila mtu kujisaidia, because kama kuna unemployment wezi niambia mentor anaweza kutafutia kazi upate kazi. So hapa ni kujisaidia tu, kila mseki vyake tu.
Naweza sema wanasaidia in a way because unajua sana wanatuongeleshanga from the experiences. So ukiangalia venye ume experience pia unajua venye unafaa kuenda.
For me, I don't have a mentor, but I think they are important for the people who have them, because at least you have someone you can follow the path they led. Maybe it could lead you somewhere.
I don't have official mentors, so I just have unofficial mentors like my cousins, my friends who are older than me. They've passed ahead of me, so they know the things that I need to do, even if the circumstances are not the same exactly. Gives me an idea.
I don't have a mentor, but I think it's important to have a mentor because sometimes it depends on what you're doing. Let's say it's about your talent, your singing. It's important to have a mentor because they guide you.
Well, there's something that I have picked up that most of the people that we talked to don't have mentors, but they see the importance of having a mentor. Maybe Jen, you can help us understand. Why do they think it's important, yet they don't have, or they're reluctant to get mentors?
Wow, I think I go back to my statement. Procrastination.
Yeah?
Procrastination is just the habitual keeping off what I know I should do. And sometimes it has a definition of just maybe is it due to laxity or laziness or not seeing the need.
Yeah.
And it is normally a personal opinion. I remember there's a forum we went to sometime and we were addressing some youth around Madare. And one was very adamant. And he pointedly said he knows he does not need a mentor.
Like just the way
Direct,
one has said.
yes.
Yeah.
And that is okay because that is you. You are the CEO of your life. You are yourself. And this is on the assumption that I know myself and I know who I am, and I have my goals, and I know where I am going.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to feel like I don't need a mentor. It's okay. I think it's the way we've put it, like I can't move without a mentor, because I can move from here to town. I may need a vehicle. I may take a bicycle, or I may walk. But at least I have to do something. So for those who see the importance but have not picked it up, maybe they are not yet stuck. Maybe they're just okay.
But should someone really wait until they're stuck?
That's now the problem of where procrastination comes in. Because sometimes procrastination is one, the enemy of progress. It is also the enemy of purpose. Because everybody has a purpose in this life. Everybody. There's the analogy given of walking to a supermarket. Every item has a function.
Yeah.
Today, walk into a supermarket and lift anything and ask, you'll be told it does A, B, C, D. And so every one of us was created by God with a purpose. So are we fulfilling our purposes? Sometimes the fact that I'm not fulfilling my purpose may make me feel depressed. I'm in the wrong area. You've heard of people who are in wrong careers.
Yeah.
And they keep saying, I know I'm in the wrong place, but I can't move. The moment you make that decision, personally, when I moved into mentorship, I feel complete. Sometimes people ask me, what are you doing with all these youths? What are you doing with all these teens? But just the fact that there's that interaction. And someone also talked of unofficial. Yes.
Yeah.
There is informal and informal mentorship. And most of the times, if we need, especially those who are saying they don't have a mentor, just sit and find out there's some informal mentorship going on somewhere.
Yeah.
It could be peer mentorship. There's also one we call reverse mentorship.
What does that mean?
Nowadays with technology, enough times I've sat there and I've looked at the remote and I've wanted to do something in the house, and my son looks at me like, Mom, this is what you need to do. It is him reaching out to me
Okay.
and giving me the direction, because that is like reverse. With the technology of today, you go and see your father at home, your grandfather, and he says, come and take me through. And every time you go, they give you their phone and they're like, please take me through. What's going on? Please remove from you're helping, you're guiding. So let's come out of thinking mentorship is this big name out there. It's a relationship you have with somebody that is fruitful, that is healthy, that is productive, that is guiding you. And this person is purely pointing out the way
Okay.
for you. Another one also talked under something like
Celebrity mentors.
Yes.
And online mentors. So let me just pop up a question
Yes.
there. Can I have an online mentor, one that I have never met? Ni celebrity somewhere. I cannot even have access to them. Can I have a mentor of such sort?
Is that a mentor or somebody I'm just admiring or idolizing? Because remember, this relationship has to be productive. At what point are we interacting? Who is the mentor to who? Yes, they are up there. They have this area of expertise that you feel you desire. Let's say it is music. And there's that mentor that I admire out there.
Yeah.
And today I want to come up with a song. So how are they going to help me? I'm stuck. I need to know, how do I come up with a song? What is the first step? So where are we meeting? There has to be a point of meeting. When are we talking? Okay, some will say they are talking online. Do they know you? Is it personalized? How personalized it is. Sometimes there's also group, but even in the group mentorship, there is like a facilitator, and there is at least a relationship. You're able to sometimes have a one-on-one with this person, or just even in the group, you are interacting. So when you're having someone out there online, that is, I think, I don't know how healthy it is for them. If they are finding it healthy, well, but the fact that he's actually coming up and is even saying, the youth have lost hope, listen to the music they are singing.
Yeah. And that's
So
a young person saying
That's
that.
a young person saying it. And that's a young person actually talking about the music that is now being produced. I'm not an expert in that area. I only listen. Sometimes I hear some and I have to ask, what is the meaning of this.
Yeah.
So for me, my opinion, and I think what works in mentorship, is that there has to be some contact, some form of contact. If it's online, can I write and can they reply? Are they impacting my life?
Okay.
Are they impacting? There's an issue of impact. Is this person impacting my life? Well, they're out there. Or am I just idolizing them, idolizing the way they are dressing, and that makes me more depressed? Because today I look at the blings they have, I look at, the wear they have. Then I go back to my wardrobe and there's nothing. So how am I feeling? Encouraged or depressed?
Depressed.
So is that mentorship? Is that person helping me? Did they point out anything in my life? Are they guiding me anywhere?
Okay. Well, continue sending in your questions and comments. I can see already some are flowing in. Faye from Kasarani will be sampling your comment very much shortly. The WhatsApp number to use is 0786 316 316 and the SMS line to use is 20316. But talking about this issue of mentorship, youth and mentorship, and it's really heartbreaking to see some of the questions that are coming in. And in studio I still have Jen Kitusa from Purpose Mentors. So Jen, there's a question, and for purposes of to eliminate discrimination, I'm going to do this anonymously and read the text. Hey, thank you so much for that discussion. You ladies really look beautiful. Well, there is my problem. I have an issue because I cannot come out at night because I feel I am not good enough. I have tried talking to people and sometimes it doesn't end up well. Some of the mentors I have had have misled me. At some point, a mentor wanted me to have sexual intercourse with another person without my consent. Please help. That's
Sometimes
really tough.
True. Sometimes it's sad what you hear, because sometimes in the name of mentorship, people have manipulated and people have taken advantage of, and that's really sad, because like in every area you'll find that there are some people come in and not really be doing what they should be doing. And that is deep. That is more of personal, more of self-esteem issues, more of confidence. A person who is not able to bring out their self-efficacy themselves, just bringing out effectively. And so that could be deep. Sometimes some of these are underlying issues to things that have happened in our lives. Because why is the person talking of the night? Because now here comes the aspect now of counseling. Because if it was in counseling, I would deal with it differently. I have to listen to this person. Sometimes I say listen to what is being said and listen to what is not being said deeper. And it's unfortunate that sometimes they've fallen into the wrong hands, because sometimes I've had cases where someone comes, approaches you, and you actually realize this is a case for counseling. This is a case that needs like mental health. Remember, a counselor is not an expert. A counselor is not an all-round expert. Is not a know-it-all. And sometimes we tend to take up that role. If it's a doctor issue, I'm almost prescribing the drugs for you. Go buy these. If it's a mental health, I'm almost doing this. So just take what is possible. You've listened to this person. Is it a self-esteem issue? Is it maybe something underlying? Was there some trauma into their life? What happened into their life as they were growing up? Because that's a person from their statement. When I'm trying to listen to what is not being said. She's saying, you ladies are beautiful, and that's my problem. So you get what is not being said. That I'll admire beautiful people, but I'm feeling I'm not beautiful.
I'm not beautiful enough.
And then she talks of, I have asked people. I tell people, the best person to ask is you and your mirror. Go in front of the mirror, look at it. That is you. Because you'll ask me, Sarah, then I'll tell you, why did you choose that blouse? The haircut, why don't we dye it a bit? That is my opinion. And sometimes we have let people's opinions mess us up, because we have to be proud of who we are, and that starts deep inside. Today in the morning I was talking to a friend, and I was telling him what we'll be discussing. And he was saying, if possible, use these. It's about that a ship is not sunk by the massive waters around it, but it is sunk by that little water that seeps in. And so here you are. You've let people's words seep into you. You've let people's opinions judge you. Everybody is beautiful. Even the Bible says we're all beautiful, fearfully and wonderfully made. And so beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Who is this telling you you're not beautiful? If I don't feel beautiful, you cannot convince me I'm beautiful. And then beautiful in the standards of who? According to who? That I'm not beautiful. Or I'm beautiful according to who? Because as I walk out of my house, I need to be sure of how I'm feeling, how I'm looking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I hope you have gotten the response that you need. And if not, please make sure to contact us and we'll see how to help.
Yes.
And then we also have Ruth Mausa from Kariobangi South, Nairobi. Thank you so much for reaching out. I have a daughter, 16-year-old, and I want a mentor to talk to her. Where can I get you during the April holidays? We'll forward that to you. And that brings me to another question. Are parents allowed to choose mentors for their children, especially that young, 16-year-old?
Yes, they can. Actually, you'll be shocked. That's not even young. 16 is a teen, and where does teen start? All the way from
13.
Uko 10 nowadays, teen wa 10. 10
Teen
and
wa
11,
10.
teen wa 10. They want to tell you, I'm not a child. I'm
a teenager.
already a teenager. They're developing faster. Don't know whether it's the foods or the environment.
Could be.
Yeah. So, yes and no. Parents can choose a mentor. First of all, have they indulged enough to find out what is the problem? Sometimes we see our problems in our children. So what is the problem?
Okay.
Is the child manifesting any issue that needs to be addressed? As a parent, I should try and be the first mentor. Do I have a relationship with this child? Are they able to communicate to me? And yes, you can choose, but I always say expressly with the permission of the person who is going to be mentored.
That's the kid.
Because that's where sometimes you have issues where I think you should be a doctor and I go and enroll you. I thought, but did I consult you? Yes. So express, because there will be need for talking. There'll be need for expressing themselves. So if the child feels that this person, to them, if they're not seeing a mentor, they're seeing a person, a stranger, has come into my life. So how have they, and if the issue especially, I'm sorry to put it this way, if the issue is with the parent, because sometimes it is, then this child will just be seeing another parent who's been brought to
By
talk
the
to them
parent.
by the parent
Okay.
who they have an issue with. So I think most important is to find out and establish what is the issue. And I remember during the holidays, there's a child who I was called for by the parent, and he refused to talk. Yes.
Okay.
According to him, he didn't have any issue. It is the parents who are seeing the issue.
Wow.
So sometimes it can be tough. It's not easy ABC. So when that comes up, well, I always believe there's a solution. So as a parent, if you've tried, and that's why now referrals come in.
Okay.
If they're feeling there's need to identify a mentor, as always, which area is this? Maybe my child needs a mentor in playing a guitar. That is okay. I will look for an April holiday place where there's a guitar. I take them. But is it the child who wants to play the guitar, or is it me who wants the child to play the guitar?
Oh, that is something that you should
Very
identify.
critical. Yeah, we've taken kids to places. They've done it for us. It's not fair. It's not fair. Yeah. Let's sometimes listen to them, of course, with a firm, tough love, and then identify what it is. But if she wants the number, we can always talk.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we have Alex who's asking, does it mean that all successful people had mentors?
Alex, thank you for that question. Another thing, successful. How do we measure success? Is it by the number of what I am seeing you having? Number of dash, dash, dash. So as Alex is looking at the successful people, not necessarily. Sometimes you just make it through. And remember, I've talked of informal mentorship, that there was no heading that we were now doing a mentorship session. We didn't sit somewhere in a class and pull out a blackboard. But through interacting with somebody, they guided you, they pointed the way out. And we find that there are so many informal mentorship relationships along our way. Some that we don't even realize it's mentorship that is actually going on. So some may have had formal mentorship. Some may have identified purposely and actively. Others, maybe the mentor was just working with them.
Yeah.
Without even knowing that it's a mentorship relationship.
That's where the informal mentorship
That's where the informal mentorship. Sometimes it's happening and we are not aware.
Yeah.
Someone is just guiding you, and you keep, when you're stuck, you run to this person. Hi, what did you tell me we do? Try this, we are trying this. And we didn't sit and have a meeting. I told you, mentorship is not like counseling where I'll go and book a therapy room and we sit and you bring in charge. But then in mentorship, sometimes there's no payment.
Wow. I think now we don't have an excuse not to get a mentor.
There is no payment.
No payment sometimes.
Yes.
But again, it also depends with the mentor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Depends with the mentor.
I think that is an important point to know.
Yes.
Well, lastly, my dear, before we wind up this discussion, maybe there is someone who is 30 and they have never had a formal, let me say a formal mentor. Is it too late for me? Or rather, how should I go about it to make sure that I am not left behind when it comes to mentorship?
It's never late for anything. Because one, are they okay? Are they feeling okay? Are they feeling stuck anywhere? They are 30. What is this they had planned? Let's ask this way. Where had they planned in their journey of life? Where did they see themselves to be at 30 years? Are they there? Or are they past? There are others who are past, where they had seen themselves, talk of achievement and goals. Or are they feeling pressure? When pressure starts coming in, that means you're stuck somewhere. That means you're looking for help, because where is this you are stuck? Now that's the point you need to reach out to someone. So most important, what was their goal by the time they were to be 30? Where did they want to be? Did I want to be married? Did I want to still be single? Did I want to have done my master's?
Yeah.
What is that goal you had at that point? And then how far are you? Just like in the wheel of life, 0 to 10, where am I ranging at that point? If I'm at around 2, 3, my wheel is all jagged, then I need to start looking for help to push out, shape it. Yeah.
All right. We have Alan listening from Kericha. As a youth, I'm learning a lot from discussion. Though I don't have a mentor, I'm looking forward to have one at least. Is it right to always go by what your mentor says?
Not necessarily. Because first of all, is that my area of what are we mentorship, or what are we mentoring each other in? Just like the lady who talked of someone having misled.
Yeah.
Did I identify the right mentor? Did I first of all even identify my issue? Because it starts with me. Where am I stuck? Because if I don't identify where I am stuck, then I identify the wrong person, like the ones who are identifying online mentorship, an idol out there, then of course I'm in the wrong path. Yes.
Okay.
So
it's not necessarily that akikwambia today don't go.
We talked of manipulation. I should not manipulate what I wanted to be so that now you will be that. And I should also, as a mentor, not manipulate you so that your life becomes me. I'm not cloning you. I just want a better you, depending on your goals, which are different, depending on your desires, depending on your roadmap.
Okay.
Because our destinations could be different. Maybe it's just the word you want. Maybe it's just the advice. Maybe it's just the experience. Is what you're going through what I went through? And what I did, if you do what I did, will it work for you? Personally, I had left campus at second year. And that's where my mentors came in. And after 4 years, with now 2 children and married, I went back to campus.
Wow. So,
So where was my motivation? These two ladies that I love so much were motivating me, go back to school. This is what you need. Another person may have dropped out. Is what happened to me going to happen to them? Is what I applied going to make them successful?
Okay.
Because maybe necessarily they don't need to go back to. Maybe they need to change the course. Maybe they need to do something else. Yes.
Well, I personally have learned a lot.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for enriching us with that knowledge today. And if you are a youth out there and you feel like you've been left behind when it comes to mentorship, you are not. As Jen has said, it's never too late.
It's never too late.
Well,
Identify where you are, then find out. Are you stuck? Are you ahead? Or are you behind? Or are you just okay?
So someone can just be okay.
Yes. Remember, it's about you.
Yeah,
Where
and
am
you
I?
know yourself
Yes,
better.
I wanted to be here. I am somewhere there, and I'm moving on. Life is not perfect.
Okay. So I literally, my time is up, but someone has just texted in and said, I would like to mentor someone. I'm not above it all, but I think someone can use my help or two. If you need a mentor, maybe please just specify to me what area of mentorship, and then maybe I can link you up to the right person. But for now, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much, Jane, for today.
Thank you.
Na wewe nyumbani, thank you so much. And have yourself a beautiful night, and I will see you tomorrow. Remember, if you have no mentor, it's not too late to look for a mentor. Thank you so much, and have a good night.